I believe that you have heard of the Great Wall of China, which is one of the most spectacular architecture and cultural heritages on earth. But what you may not know is that in Bozhou City in East China's Anhui province, there is another architecture marvel here. But unlike the Great Wall, this one was built underground. You're watching Xinhua Live. I'm Xiyue with Xinhua News Agency. We're now in Bozhou City, and the underground troop tunnel built here was built 1,800 years ago, and this is one of the most ancient military facilities in China. So today, let's start our journey underground and explore the architecture and military wisdom of the ancient Chinese together. So before we start our journey today, there is one important and famous person you need to know about. His name is Cao Cao, and he is a famous Chinese statesman, warlord, and also a poet here in China. And this troop tunnel underground was built by Cao Cao when he rose to power towards the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, which is from 25 to 220 AD. So today, let's start our journey and explore how he built this ancient military facility and how he used this underground troop tunnel to win many wars here. To let us better understand the situation and information about this facility, we have invited a professional here to give us more information. 你好。So this is Xinhua, and Miss Xing is the tour guide of this underground troop tunnel. 能不能给我们简单介绍一下咱们这个曹操运营道的一些基本知识？
运兵道呢，它是距今有1800多年的历史了。这边区域呢，展现的是从运兵道出土的部分文物，箭簇和弩机。那这两样搭配在一起，它是可以进行一个远程射击的，跟现在小手枪的威力是差不多的。
So we can see here we can see a sparrow head and also a crossbow here unearthed from this troop tunnel, and combine them together, they can make a very long distance shoot, and it has nearly the power of the modern day guns. So this truly shows the wisdom and the development of the Chinese military in the ancient times. So later, let's go into this underground tunnel and truly see by ourselves what kind of facilities and the skillfully layout of this underground troop tunnel. So now we have entered the underground tunnel, troop tunnel, and we can truly feel that the tunnel is very narrow here, and the height is also almost only one person's height. So let's ask Mr. Xing about more of the information. 我们看到前面这个，您能不能给我们介绍一下这个结构？
这个设施呢叫做障碍旋，它是为了起到拦截的作用的。
So this facility here is called the barriers, also can be translated as the obstacle dome. It's designed here in order to block the enemies. 所以它的原理其实就是把它的这个高度降下来了。
对，它的高度突然降低了之后呢，原先地道当中光线不是特别好，而且敌人他进来是不熟悉环境的，走到这个位置就很容易撞击撞到上面也是可以延缓他们敌人追击的速度的。
Right. So this facility here lowers the height of the troop tunnel, and also in the ancient times the light source here in this tunnel is not very good, so it's relatively dark here. And when the enemies pursue the troops and when they run into this barrier, they will easily get their head knocked in order to delay the pursuit of the enemies. And it is truly a very clever design in this troop tunnel. So let's keep going ahead. 我们继续往前进。So here we have to keep our head low in order to be careful not to get our own head hit here. And I've been told that there are many different kinds of troop roads here in this tunnel, and this one it allows only one person to pass. 咱们这个道型是叫什么型？
咱们现在走的这种道型呢，它是叫做单行道，它的宽度是在70公分左右，也就是说它是只能容纳一列士兵单向行驶的。高度方面好一点，在1.7米到1.8米左右。
So this kind of road is called the one-way road here in this tunnel. So the width here is about only 70 centimeters, so it can only allow one troop of soldiers to go through in one direction. And the height here is about 1.7 to 1.8 meters high.
那我们走到这儿呢，还可以看到一个设施啊，地道当中最基础、最重要的就是它的通风口，有通风才能有氧气啊。它一方面呢用于通风换气，另外一方面也是可以作为出入口来使用的。
So here we can see it's another important facility designed in this troop tunnel. That hole is called a ventilation hole. It is for the air circulation of this troop tunnel here. And also under very extreme emergency circumstances, the soldiers here can also use the ventilation hole to get in and out of the troop tunnel.
那这个位置呢，我们就来到了地道当中最中间的位置，叫指挥中心，也就是他们原先指挥作战的场地。
Okay, so right now we have entered to the center part of this troop tunnel. This is called their command center, the command area. So in the ancient times, we can imagine that over 1,800 years ago, the commanders will gather here to tell the soldiers what to do. The next military tactics is happening here. 那这里的设计有什么独特的地方吗？
因为这个位置呢，它是可以通达4个城门的。这一块呢，距离地表也是最深的，大约是有7米左右。那它作为指挥中心，是一个将士汇集的地方。那么怎么分散而去，怎么汇集而来，就要靠两侧的上下双层道。
So, Mr. Xing told us that this is also the deepest part of the troop tunnel. This here is about 7 meters below the ground, and this is where the commanders gather their all troops, their all soldiers here to make important decisions and to deploy the soldiers, their troops. So, this part connects the whole 4 gates to the side of the city, and they have a special design here called the upper and layer road in order for the troops to gather and to get to different parts of the troop tunnel.
这个上下双行道有什么独特的地方？
上下双层道呢，它是为了起到一个分流的作用设置的，可以兵分2路，加快行军速度。
So this kind of road design is to divert the traffic flow because when there are many soldiers here, the upper and lower layer of the roads will effectively improve the speed of their troop. So let's go ahead, keep going, and see what other skillfully designs they have here.
我们继续前往下一个地点。
Right now we can see that the height has been lowered again and is even lower than the one-way road we have just entered.
好，那这边呢，我们进入到的是循环道。循环道它2头连接的通道是最多的，那也是最容易迷路的道型。我们刚才呢是从指挥中心过来的啊，前方还是可以再回到指挥中心的。
So now we have entered the circulation road of the tunnel, and it connects a lot of parts of this from the command center we have just entered to the different parts of the troop tunnel here, so it is easily to get lost here.
那我们通过循环道呢，其实啊，前方还可以再看到一个猫耳洞以及障碍墙，我们一起去感受一下。
好的。So after we passing through this circulation road, which has a relatively lower height here, we will see other different kinds of obstacles and facilities they set here in order to prevent the pursuit of the enemies.
那现在呢，我们就已经进入了障碍墙，它的宽度是很窄的，需要大家侧着点身子通过。这是为了防止敌人穿盔甲，因为穿着盔甲体型变宽，走这儿是容易卡住的。
明白。
So here it is what they call the obstacle walls here, and we can feel that the width of this tunnel has been drastically narrowed, and this is to prevent the soldiers, the enemies who are wearing armors, so that when enemies were wearing armors and they go through here, they have to remove the armors in order to get through this narrow tunnel, and this is how they use this kind of design to prevent the attack of the enemies.
那我们如果想要顺利通过障碍墙，那肯定就是要丢盔弃甲。但是你过来之后会发现，它尽头呢有一个猫耳洞，这是可以用来藏人的。遇到敌人追击，你就可以提前躲进去，趁其不防备，再猛然出来偷袭和劫机。
Okay, so after we pass through this obstacle wall, we can see right here by our side there's another special design called the cat's ear hole, and this is what they use to hide soldiers here, so that when the enemies remove the armors and go through this narrow tunnel, he will find one of the soldiers hiding here waiting to attack him. And this combination of these special designs make the success of a war here underground.
好，那走到这儿呢，我们又会看到有一个障碍线了。我们现在看来，地道的光线还是非常好的。其实古时候呢，它只有一些固定位置才会放灯，但因为是地道当中，氧气不是很充足，它只会放置一些光亮微弱的小油灯，就是放在这种凹槽里面。它的名字叫灯龛。
So here we see another obstacle dome here, and in the ancient times the light source here is very limited, so it's very relatively dark, and because of the limited oxygen resources here, they only use very small oil lights here, and they will put here in this kind of hole on the walls. And I believe that you were also wondering, because of there are so many sophisticated designs and the different kinds of facilities they use to tackle their enemies, how will their soldiers get to pass through this tunnel very safely? Let's ask Ms. Xin. 有这么多这个障碍设计哈，他们像我们自己的士兵、自家人如何能够安全的通过这个通道呢？
其实这个放灯的位置也是提示自己人的一个点。因为这个光亮呢较为微弱它是照不清前方有障碍的，敌人走到这儿依然是阻碍，但是自己人他只要看到光亮，他就知道前方呢是要弯腰了，其实就是提示自己人的一个作用的。
So they also have set a lot of reminders for their own soldiers. For example, the kind of place we have seen to place the oil lanterns is also work as a reminder for soldiers that there is an obstacle ahead. And because of the very vague and very dark environment here, the enemies won't realize it. But the soldiers in this tunnel will immediately know that when you see a lantern here, there is an obstacle in front of it. So that's how they get through this tunnel without getting hurt.
好，在这里呢，我们看到的是一个猫耳洞和通气孔的结合，就是我们一路走过来，经过最多的就是通风口，它最重要。猫耳洞呢也不少一方面可以用来偷袭敌人，如果说自己人在这相遇了，也能避让一下。有伤亡的士兵也可以转移到里面，保证道路的畅通。
So right now we have seen a multifunctional ventilation hole that can also work as a cat ear hole, so that it can work as a ventilation, but also when the soldiers, two groups of soldiers meeting with each other, they can go into the cat's ear hole to prevent running into each other and to improve the speed of the marching. And also when there are some wounded soldiers, they will also carry them into the cat's ear hole to hide them and to ensure the traffic of this tunnel won't be affected by the wounded soldiers.
那现在呢，我们脚下站的这个位置啊，就是原先陷阱的旧址。原先陷阱的这个大凹槽里面，它会放置刺刀之类的武器。如果说敌人不小心掉落，那也是很难有生还的可能。
So this kind of facility here works as a trap in the ancient times. It's one of the important military facilities here. And today, in order for the tourists to get through very smoothly, they have put a road above the trap. But in the ancient times, there are knives and other weapons down the trap. So when the soldiers walk past here, they will fall into it and get very seriously injured here. So after the long journey of this tube tunnel underground, we can truly feel there are so many skillfully designed facilities, and that has a lot of military wisdom and architectural wisdom here. And I've been told that besides the interesting facilities we have just seen, there has been a lot of stories about the discovery and the protection and the restoration of this underground tube tunnel.
我听说除了咱们这些有趣的设施以外，其实本身这个隧道的发现，包括它的保护过程，都是非常有意思的。
对，那早些时候呢，亳州一直都是有传说，说城下有曹操修建的古地道。
So there has been long been legends in the Bozhou City that there are ancient tube tunnels that Cao Cao built underneath the city, but there has never been any proof of it.
那到了1937年，群众呢挖地道防空袭，发现了几百米但是因为是战争时期，它是没有引起必要的重视。
So until 1937, when the civilians began to dig tunnels underground the city to get away from the air attacks, they found the underground tube tunnel here. But because of its wartime and limited human resources, it has not been given much priority to this to the protection of the tube tunnel here.
实际上呢，是到了1969年才大范围的发现了4000多米。请专家勘测过之后呢，实际上它是有8000多米，连通了亳州的4个城门。
So until the year of 1969, that people discovered a total length of 4,000 meters of the underground trooper, and they invited the specialist historians here to make some explorations, and later they discovered that there was a total of over 8,000 meters of tunnel here connecting the 4 gates of the ancient Bozhou City here.
那亳州呢，它不仅是国家级历史文化名城，那也是全球最大的中药材专业市场。那么在文物保护和城市发展方面呢，我们也是做出了很多的努力像整个地道的保护，在前期呢，地下管网工程之类的也是避开了古地道的部分。在日常景区的运营当中，我们也是邀请文物处、城市管理局等部门日常呢会定期对古地道进行监测和维护的。
So Mission told us that the Bozhou City we visited here today is not only a very ancient city with a long history in China, but it also has the largest global market for the traditional Chinese herb medicines here. And between the development of this city to the protection of this underground tube tunnel, they have made so many works in order to balance the two sides. And for example, the underground sewer system and other underground pipe networks in the city will go around the tube tunnel here not to make any damages to the tube tunnel. And also there were enlightened professionals here on a regular basis to make inspections of this tube tunnel in order to ensure its conditions and to prevent any damages such as rain or pipe leakages here in the city. And that's why after 1,800 years we can still see this magnificent underground city here in the Bozhou. And appreciate the wisdom of the ancient people. And 谢谢邢老师今天给我们的介绍。Thank you, and also thank you so much for watching our Xinhua Live today. And I hope that one day our audience will all get a chance to come to China and visit Bozhou City and explore more information about this great military figure in Chinese history, Cao Cao, and also explore the wisdom of architecture and military here. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.